My seventh week following the solo artist curriculum and week 3 of Perspective 1 started with views and projection exercises from Rapid Viz, and the exercises felt a lot easier as I got the hang of doing them, and after I learned I could rotate front and side views in order to get the picture more easily. Although they were supposedly getting more complex with hidden lines, it was actually easier for me to work with them. So that was rewarding, and I hope this has been a useful practice because although I enjoyed solving those view puzzles, working with these exercises does feel like study time more so than drawing time. And in general, perspective feels like work. On day 2, I was aware that I had to carry on with Drawbox if I were to complete lessons 2 and 3 in this unit's 4 weeks. So I worked a bit with some content from Unit 1 just to get ready to move on with the new content. I played with a quick organic perspective exercise, drew some lines in a box, and then I moved on to intersecting shapes. I read the material and watched Uncomfortable's video, and I drew the boxes on day 2, which was already rather time-consuming. I then got somewhat paralyzed over where to place the intersections and how to work with them, so I moved on to other exercises, and I only completed the intersections on day 4. I also worked with the intersections with pencil out of fear of messing things up with ink. In short, this exercise demanded a lot of thought. It was intimidating at first to slice the planes of intersection, but after I worked on a couple of boxes with the intersections, I understood the point of it, and I thought this was a great exercise. One thing to note is that when you make a sloppy box like this one, it is harder to work with these intersections. So having cleaner lines and solid boxes to start with is very important. But yeah, a very useful exercise. Still on day 2, when I wasn't feeling brave to work with the intersections, I got back to the views from Rapid Viz. I was trying to get through them reasonably quickly this time, so I was less concerned about my lines, and I was more interested in the mental translation of the 3 views into a 3D object. On day 3, I finished all of the views from the book, and I finished the intersections on day 4. Days 5 and 6 were used to draw the shapes and work on intersections with a variety of shapes. This turned out to be a lot harder than the work with only boxes, as the flat surfaces of the boxes are much simpler to work with. Week 3 was a busy work week for me, so I did not get to dedicate myself to perspective as I would have liked. But I tried to make up for the time I had lost on day 7. I started with a quicker pass on intersections, and I just tried to allow me to work with the intersections more quickly and intuitively. The page looks rather sloppy, but I am happy I actually did this work, as I can see when things are bad and visualize how I could fix them. I probably should work on this again with better lines and maybe even pencil. But I needed to move on to finish this week, having completed lesson 2 with the organic intersections. So this is what I did. I drew the organic intersections with fountain pens, and the results were variable. I think I understood the point, although I can see some mistakes I made while I was drawing. Next week will be the last week of Perspective 1, and I will have lesson 3 of Drawbox ahead of me, as well as Marshall Vandruff's lectures. This week, I only moved past right angles and started ellipses with his lecture series. So far, I haven't really felt I learned something new, but maybe the ellipses lectures have helped me to see how I could fix the intersecting planes exercises now that I am recording the video and having time to reflect upon my work and my previous week's experience. It was also good for me to work with Rapid Viz. I will try to continue working with it next week, but there's a lot of exercises in this book, and things get more complex as well. So I think I will have enough material to continue using this book when I get to next perspective units. For next week, my focus will be to finish the raw blocks and wrapping up perspective 1. I hope to see you then. Thank you for watching. Bye.